Hello guys, thank you so much for being with me in another machine learning tutorial video. In the previous videos we talked a little about implementations in Python. In this video we are going to talk about control structures and conditional statements. Suppose we want to toss a fair coin to calculate the probability of the result of this throw being a head or a tail. We use this function to generate a random number and place a condition. If this random probability number is less than 0.5, print head and otherwise print tail. Pay attention to the structure. Curly braces are not needed here, but the key points are related to these colons and indentations. Python is very sensitive to these indentations. I suggest that if you are coding in a text file environment, do not use tab to create these indentations and replace it with space. The standard is for spaces. Environments like Anaconda automatically respect these indentations. If we want to repeat this work many times, it is better to use repetition loops. By using these loops, the possibility of error is significantly reduced. Be sure to read the Python files I have provided for you and run each cell. While reading the files, try to pay attention to all the examples and how to code so that you can learn from them. I don't want to teach Python programming part by part in this course because it is not only logical but also not possible. There are separate training courses for teaching this programming language, although the same training courses are not enough to become an expert in the field of programming, and you need continuous and personal practice for reaching the expert level. To store the outcome probabilities of coin toss, here I have considered a vector that has 6 houses, empty holes actually, 6 container. You can see that the result shows that the numbers are approximately in the range of 167, which is the result of dividing 1000 by 6. In the following, I have explained the while conditional loops, and again I have given examples for this type of conditional loops. You must know that the basis of these loops is that as long as the condition of the loop is true, the corresponding command is run. Note that the use of break commands is not very common, but I have given you an example in the files for your familiarity. Next, in the functions section, I have given you an example of function definition with the purpose of throwing dice. I defined the function in one cell, and you can see that I called this function in the next cell inside the conditional loop. You know that to run the function we have to call that function. Writing functions and modular programming is very important for optimization. We need to identify which part of our program performs a specific task, and we define that part inside functions so that if we need to make changes, we can make those changes at a lower cost. We can also define more general functions, examples of which you can see in the file. In this type of functions, if the argument has a default value, they obviously do not need to be initialized at the time of calling. In the following, I have given you a brief description of the implementation and linear regression. First, I have defined the input and output data. I have also provided a definition of parameters. Read these descriptions carefully because I have provided the explanation. Now we want to calculate the cost function for this data. We have proceeded according to the formula in this implementation. In the implementation of the formulas, it is better to consider a series of inputs and outputs and implement the formula on this data to make sure that this implementation is correct. Note that if you work as a programmer in the field of machine learning, it is better to do vector implementation because vector implementation in the field of machine learning have better optimization and are more readable compared to non-vector implementations that use conditions and loops. When the number of data increases, the differences in runtime of these two implementation methods will be significant. These implementations have been checked in the examples in the files. Pay attention that it is better to use string descriptions in the definition of functions to increase the readability of the program you have written, both for yourself and for other programmers. In these examples, as we have already explained, we calculate the value of the cost function for different theta and draw the final figure. This annotate function is used to provide necessary explanations inside your final figure. As I have said before, the programming process is an interactive feature oven. It means that you should write the program and refer to help and other available resources according to the problems you encounter and gradually gain experience and reach a higher skill. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here the concept of reviewing the Python programming language for machine learning purposes is over, and from the next lecture we will continue the bases of machine learning. So I again highly recommend you not to miss the upcoming lectures since there are lots of practical and important tips in the upcoming videos for you, and you can benefit from them and become a very high level machine learning expert. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.